How to start a conversation with strangers. Does your brain also face a short circuit of brain wires? Do you also feel shortage of breath and sweating while being unable to form proper sentences when you try to start a conversation with a stranger? If you too get awkward while trying to hold a proper conversation with strangers, but are afraid of letting go of wonderful opportunities, then you need to know the art of talking to anyone. But before we get down to discussing the deets about how to start a conversation with anyone, subscribe to our channel so that you can always keep in touch with information on the subjects you are inquisitive about, and join the Deets family. Communication skills are one of the most prominent soft skills that we humans as social animals need to acquire in our lifetimes. Be it for business or personal relationships, the art of being able to talk to others and letting them know what is going on in our minds is really important. While holding a conversation might come naturally to some, it is also a dreaded task for many. So here are a few tips that will help you navigate any kind of conversation with others really smoothly. Number 1. How to start a conversation. The very first question that comes to our mind whenever we try to strike up a conversation is, how do I even start? Well, the very first step that you need to take is to calm down. Being nervous whenever meeting someone new or interacting in a new environment is a very human response. Take a few slow and deep breaths and try to calm your nerves. If you need to connect with others during a large social gathering, consider relaxing yourself beforehand by meditating or using progressive muscle relaxation. Prior to a social function, you could also try to locate a quiet area to relax. This will enable you to approach the situation calmly. The next step to initiating a conversation is starting off with the good old, "Hey, hello, I'm so-and-so." Tell the other party that you are thrilled to be at the said gathering and would like to have a conversation with them. You should know that it's not just you who's nervous about having convos with new people. Others might appreciate your gesture of approaching them and starting off the conversation. Number 2. Starting conversation when there is no context. Being present at an event does provide the motivation and context to strike up a conversation with strangers. But how can one strike up a conversation with a stranger when there is no compelling motive to do so? Like standing near a bus stop or while at a cafe? You can ask for help or ask for their opinions. For instance, if boarding the bus, you can ask what the usual route of the bus is, how long it takes the bus to reach the other point, what is the best drink or food at a particular cafe, and how do they prefer the food there. Not only will you be able to strike up a conversation, but you will also receive genuine recommendations for different places. Number 3. Always skip off the small talk. Talking about the weather is a sign that the conversation is going nowhere. Try to avoid such exhaustive topics if you want to keep the conversation going. What is your go-to small talk whenever you are unable to hold off on conversations? Write it down in the comment section and start off a conversation with the Deets family. Number 4. Keep up the body language. Most of us would love to keep a conversation interesting and keep up a good conversation going with the other party. But it is also important to take note of their response. Before you continue to bring up new subjects with someone, you want to be sure they want to talk to you. If someone is not receptive to discussion or does not want to be approached, you will not be able to hold the conversation with them for long. Do not start a discussion unless the other person indicates that they are prepared to do so. Wait till they are more comfortable and at ease. Look for relaxed posture. It is unseemly for someone who wants to be approached to cross their arms across their chest or otherwise block their torso. People open to talk will stand tall and hold their arms at their sides. Additionally, those that are prepared to converse will readily make eye contact with you. Number 5. How to keep a conversation going. Just striking up a conversation isn't all that there is when talking to others. You need to keep the conversation interesting so that the other party is excited to talk to you as well. Ask for an update. Ask for an update about something you know they've been doing if you only know them distantly or just know them by their profile. For example, you can go by, "Oh, James mentioned you started baking and going to swimming classes. How's that going?" Ask open-ended questions whenever it's possible. A good technique to start a discussion is with a question. It starts conversations off and expresses interest towards the other individual. Try posing a question just after you introduce yourself. Also, try to keep the conversation open-ended. Don't be shocked if the response you receive to your query is a simple yes or no. If you are at a gathering, for example, open by saying something like, "How do you know the host?" When you're at a networking event, you can inquire about someone's job. Ask a question like, "What does your work involve exactly?" The flow of the conversation might also be helped by having follow-up questions ready. For example, if you inquire about the type of food they like to have at that particular restaurant, you can ask for suggestions for a drink to pair it with or a dessert to go after. Almost everything may be followed up with why. But remember not to ask too many questions, or you'll end up sounding like a curious 3-year-old. Ask a hypothetical question. Although they may be excellent conversation starters, make sure to relate them to the event or current affairs to avoid coming across as too random. At work, you may say something along the lines of, "Would you take a $70,000 per week job offer where you get paid to sit in a pitch black room and do nothing for 20 hours a day?" Or on a date, you can ask, "If you started a band, what would it be called and why?" Inquire about their family, pets, and interests. People like discussing the topics that are significant to them. Asking your employer about his most recent vacation is a great way to start him chatting if you know that he had a great getaway. Here is a little getaway for you too. You seem like an inquisitive type. Subscribe to our channel and check out our playlist to gain information about literally tons of different topics that can be your next conversation starter. Number 6. Share information about yourself. If all you do is ask questions, people won't want to talk to you. People find it awkward to converse with those who ask a lot of questions about other people but reveal little about themselves. In order to pique their interest, make sure you share facts about yourself. Make an effort to establish a pattern between sharing about yourself and showing your curiosity about the other person. Let's say you inquire about someone's enjoyment of a movie they recently watched, comment on a movie or show you've just seen after they've shared about the movie. Number 7. Change topics when necessary. Make sure no one starts to feel awkward when an issue is brought up. If you start talking about something and they appear to be anxious, then it's better to drop the topic. You could also have overexhausted a subject. Choose a different topic to talk about if you and the other party are having trouble continuing with a particular topic. It's better to look for a relevant subject to talk about. Move the topic to movies if you are discussing books, for instance. It's also completely alright to introduce something new if you are unable to come up with anything relevant. Revert to a relevantly broad matter like, what do you do for a living? Or where did you spend your childhood? Number 8. Bring up current events and stay at the top of news. A wonderful approach to keep a discussion going is to bring up current events. It is simple to converse with anyone if you keep up with current events. You'll be able to strike up a conversation about items that others also have idea about. It is not necessary to bring up important current events, especially in circumstances where doing so can make someone feel uncomfortable. Bring up a recent popular movie, a celebrity controversy, or a radio hit song if you want to maintain the vibe of the conversation. What to avoid during a conversation? Refrain from judgment. Conversations with judgmental persons are avoided by most. Always keep in mind that the goal of each conversation is to learn more about the other person. You're not there to pass verdicts or theories. Avoid analyzing what is being said and instead concentrate on listening and understanding. You will have less time to pass judgment as a result, and this will encourage individuals to actually open up to you. Also, avoid trying to outdo each other and avoid competing with the other party while conversing. There will be many chances to turn around the conversation and make it all about you. But a good conversation always has two-way communication, where both parties speak and listen to each other. How to end the conversation. After having a wonderful exchange, you need to mark the end of the discussion politely too. Simply said, you cannot flee from the conversation without marking its end. You might use phrases like, "Thanks for the chat," "Goodbye now," or "I'll take my leave now." The most important thing is to express it honestly with a strong eye contact. Or you can go with, "Excuse me, I just met someone I've been meaning to catch up with. I'm going to go get another drink." Or, "I simply have to go to the restroom. Maybe I'll run into you later." So with this, we come to the end of this video. You now know how to strike up a conversation with strangers, how to keep it interesting, and how to politely take your leave. If you loved this video and found all the points simple to follow yet super effective, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel before you leave, so that we can fill you up on various other such informational videos and keep you and your inquisitive brain updated. Also, write down the topics that you guys are interested in the comment section below, so that we can keep making detailed video on them. Till then, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.